Welcome to learning how to plant.
Hello friends, I've decided to set up here by the hummingbird feeder and see if anybody would come and give us a visit. Today what I thought I would do is give you a little walk around tour and see what's going on the homestead. It's the middle of spring and some things are happening. You know, things are turning green. Weather's a little bit unstable. Sometimes it's raining, sometimes it's cold. In fact, in the morning we might have frost on the day before Mother's Day, I guess. And I mean, that's not the first time that's ever happened to us. So let's get going and see what's going on. I just heard a hummingbird buzz. Well, as I head up the hill, I can see that Jeremiah and his gang are spreading mulch out on that garden patch. What are you guys doing?
So we're scooping up mulch and picking it up, and so we're gonna plant and grow Christmas lima beans through the lane.
Don't say anymore.
So they're just over there working, and I thought I'd stop and give a quick look at the elephant garlic in what we call the garden house. It's starting to send up the scapes that will all need to be picked off before they get too big, because we don't want this energy of the plant to go to the scape and making seeds. We want it to go to the bulbs. In this greenhouse where we have this heated germination bed, I've moved my plants out of that kitchen and then to finish them off in here because it's warm enough, although tonight we're going to need to close the curtains. I've got 3 trays of okra. These 2 were started at the same time. They didn't come up the greatest and they're really tall, but I'm going to be able to just stick them down in the ground pretty far and I think they'll be fine. This tray was started probably at least 2 weeks later than these 2 because I saw that they didn't come up good, and so I did some more. In here I've got some celery and a few eggplants and peppers that I'm hoping to get to my neighbor. Back there some watermelon, cantaloupe, and zucchini. These are my 2 moringa trees. There's a few little things starting. We've got some cayenne and Thai peppers there with some Swiss chard, and then we've got onion chives and garlic chives. These are some more squashes.
Found this little guy while scooping mulch. It's a prairie ringneck snake. It's got, maybe you can see the ring around his neck, and an orange belly. They're completely harmless and good to have around.
Do you want to tell them that we used to have them come in our house?
Still do.
Do you?
No.
And then we've got 2 trays of marigolds all bloomed out and they need to be planted. Old guy filled up the inside of this hoop with lots of soil. I don't know exactly what kind of soil he's got in there, but we got to work that down. We're still not sure exactly what we're going to put around this hoop, but we're going to grow something. Where we planted our brassicas and our lettuce, it got too cold and they haven't really done the greatest. I hope that they'll come through. Down this row, we've got a pretty good stand of sugar snap peas, and they were looking a little pale. Jeremiah kind of trenched on the edges of them and put some fertilizer in there, so I think they're going to do better. They look greener to me than they did.
Do they really?
Yes, they do. There's a blackberry patch right there, and then this section is the asparagus bed.
I used to live in the country on a high lonesome hill. Crow by day, by night the whippoorwill.
Well, this is high tunnel number 2, and We've got the onions growing in here, and they are doing fabulous. Old guy's been working hard at keeping weeds out of them. There are still some in here, but they're not bad at all, and I think we're going to have a really good onion crop. This is what we call number 3, where we have more onions on each side. And then down the middle, we've got our main crop of tomatoes. And they're doing really well. They've grown a lot since they've been planted. Down with about 12 plants right here. We've got bell peppers and jalapenos. Right down through there, full length of the high tunnel, we have a row of green beans. This is number 4, and this is where we planted all these peppers, 2 long rows of peppers. And then down at the end there, where we get to some purple plants, those are eggplants. And then past that we have a few more of a different kind of eggplants. We have 8 plants of ground cherries growing here. And then Jeremiah and his family wanted, well, I guess, I don't think his kids cared, but Jeremiah and Galilee wanted some Roma type or paste type tomatoes. So I went to the greenhouse and bought, I think, 24, they're called Health Kick. They're a paste type, which I hope are a little bit better producing than the regular Roma tomatoes. And then my friend Tammy gave me some white cherry tomato seeds, and I got some, I think I've got 4 plants here of them. And then we have some sun sugar cherry tomatoes. We have 5 plants of them. And then these are long green beans in here. They're called sitaw, I guess, in Tagalog, which is the language of the Philippines. I'll just call them long beans. They need a trellis to climb on. From here down we have 2, 4, 6, 8 cucumber plants that are designed to grow in a greenhouse, and so they'll be climbing up on the cattle panels that we have here, and we'll have to do a little bit of training on them. But they're very nicely productive with great long straight cucumbers. So this is the back end of this house looking down the pepper row. And this bed right here is where we planted carrots twice. The first time they didn't do very well, and I dug them all up and replanted. This time I got a lot better stand. I've had to fight a lot of weeds though. It's tedious little pulling of weeds in there, but I've got 2 pretty full rows, and I'll just keep picking away at the weeds in there. Now from here on down to, I guess, where that green is where we planted spinach, but hardly any of it came up. My seed is kind of old, but we had a pretty good stand of it in that we grew over the winter, so I don't know. We tore this up and planted some lettuce and some pak choy, and then down on this end I planted, just today, so they're not even starting, I planted some cilantro seed. The next little section is beets, and I'm working on trying to get the weeds thinned out of there and salvage the beet plants. Then we've got some radishes, and there are actually some radishes starting to make a root. After the radish, we've got leaves that look a lot like the radishes, but these are pak choy. They're kind of a short-term crop where they grow up pretty quick, and then either they go to seed or you eat them. And then down here we have some Swiss chard for some greens. At the end of the Swiss chard today, and on down to the end, we replanted spinach because I want spinach, and I sowed it real heavy in case the seed's old and not very fertile, I guess. We don't know yet what we're going to plant in this section, so that's a decision yet to be made. I guess I didn't tell you that over on this side, green beans have been planted twice. The first time they didn't come up. I think it was too cold. Although down here on this end, we ended up with a few that came up, but old guy tilled it all up and replanted green beans. So we're going to have 2 long rows of green beans right off the bat. When it comes time, I'm going to be busy canning.
So this is like some sunflower seeds. They like spilt and now they're growing.
A couple of weeks ago, we sold all of our ducks because we were getting way too many eggs, and old guy was getting tired of all the mess that the ducks made and the extra work they created. So right now we just have, I think, 13 hens and a rooster. Now we're out at the cow's pasture, and looking out across there and to the east, you can see a field of oats that we've planted. Right next to that is a patch of potatoes that are doing real well, and they've been hilled up once already. On to the north of that, we've laid 2 rows of black plastic mulch where we plan to grow our sweet potatoes and our okra. It's getting close to time to milk, and Cora is waiting patiently for us, at least for now. Looking off to the north from where the 2 rows of black plastic mulch are, you can see a big patch of plowed up soil where we're going to plant our corn.
We have 2 poodle puppies. They're both brother and sister, and their names are Peaches and Fjord.
It's always been the desire of old guy to clean out like scrubby trees, crooked trees, underbrush from around our pond. And as you can see right down there, he's been busy cutting trees down, and he's got a lot of cleaning up to do, but it's been kind of muddy and he hasn't been able to, but he's got a high and mighty goal to do that. I'm glad he can finally do it.
Used to live in the country on a high lonesome hill. Crow by day and by night the whippoorwill. But I'm satisfied, tickled too, just to be with
Has anyone been in the universe before? But God has. There's Cora.
Well, I'm going downtown with my hat caved in, coming back home with a pocket full of tin. Well, I'm going downtown with my hat caved in, coming back home with a pocket full of tin.
Mom and Dad have been having trouble controlling her when we're taking her to the milking station, like that. She's always too excited. I usually let her graze a little while first. So I usually come out to help get her to the barn. She usually goes back okay. But she's ornery sometimes.
I'm eating dock. This is dock. It's a wild edible. You can eat it and it's sweet. And you can cook it into a pan and it's good.
Well, I promise promise that I won't be gone too long. I'll be thinking about you every minute that I'm gone. Well, I promise that I won't be gone too long. I'll be thinking about you every minute that I'm gone. Well, I'm satisfied, tickled too.
And so we're here, getting ready to milk.
Just to be with